Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Atha Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe फुल्लारविन्दायत पत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थाम विकर्ण घोर मकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैर्हरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमलः प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं सर्वलोकैकनाथं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्।
Namaste. Thank you all for joining. And I'm Suresh. And today, Dr. G will cover the second part of chapter 2. Dr. G, the next slide, please. Dr. G had already covered the Sharanagati as well as part of chapter 2. So we'll start with this contemplation poem. Who am I? I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. Just as we discard our clothes, I discard the bodies upon its death. I am present in the smallest atom and the unshakable mountain. Just like a movie screen, I am watching the action, but not tainted by it. Keep searching with determination, with practice, with luck. You may find me, then you will know the answer to who am I?
Namaste. Can you all hear me okay? Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Gomatre Namaha. Gita Matre Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sabhaye Namaha. Saluting Ganesha, Saraswati, all the gurus, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheswara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And saluting Jagat Guru and Gita Mata. In presence of this august assembly, with respect and reverence, we now continue the second chapter. As we have talked about the essence of Gita and the stress of second chapter on not grieving. It is not worthy of grieving. Come what may, whatsoever, it is not worthy of grieving. And it starts with 11th verse, Ashocya nanva shochastum prajna vadamscha bhashase gata suna gata sumscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Continuous through many chapters. Again, mate vyadha macha vimudha bhavo in 11th chapter. Mashucha sampadam daivim in the 16th chapter. And in the 18th chapter, the Charama Shloka Sarva Dharman Parityajya ends with Ma Shuchaha, 18th chapter, 66th verse. And in between, in the second chapter, we talked about so many times Krishna saying, not only in the 11th verse, but in 15th, 17th, 18th, and 30th verse as Natvam shochitumarhasi, Nanu shochitumarhasi, Naivam shochitumarhasi, Tatraka paridevana. So Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. Worry not, grieve not. Don't worry, be happy. Worry not, my friend, and be happy forever, proclaims Lord Krishna as the sole message of Gita. Can you hear me okay? He begins the teachings to his disciple and close friend from verse 11, chapter 2, with a message that's profound. Oh friend, you're worried about what's unworthy of grief. For the wise never lament about those who are gone or yet to be gone. Yoga means Hakuna Matata. It's a state of detachment from attachment to our own sorrow. Detachment from attachment to our own sorrow. Worry not about past or tomorrow. Expect not joy from others. Expect not the joy from others. Rather, enjoy expressing the joy. Search not for happiness outside, for it is found in abundance inside. Be free from all disturbances. Be free from all perturbances. Do not be scared about the world, for you are an instrument of the Lord. We are all finite beings here, with a life here and hereafter. God is almighty and all-knower, generator, operator, and destroyer. G-O-D, God, generator, operator, and destroyer. We have a physical body. We are not this flesh and body. The soul is infinite and immortal. This realization is our life's goal. The reasons of stress are many in this world: urbanization and globalization, atomization and disorganization, complexity and constant change, fear of failure and fear of loss, lack of self-control and insight, compulsion to control others and ourselves, impulsive actions and reactions, desperate for fast solutions. My friend, see the problems as challenges. For every problem has a solution. Every problem is an opportunity. Live not in delusion and in illusion. Pain and pleasure, joy and worries, happiness and sufferings come and go like tides of ocean. Endure them and enjoy your life. Smile like the Lord Sri Krishna. Chant Om to relax and cheer up. Take a long breath and loosen up. Watch your breath and lighten up. Under pressure and intention. When we are calm and cool, the gates to wisdom are open. Innovations and solutions are seen. Dive deep into the inner self. Draw strength from inner spirit. Look into the eyes of problems. Embrace and face with confidence. Give up all tension and sorrow. Worry not about past or tomorrow. Free yourself from worry and fear with trust in God and live happily here. This is the essence of Gita. This is the quintessence of scriptures. To remove all our ignorance and destroy all the nations. This poem is inspired by Swami Bodhananda's talk in 2020. So now, Kate sokam na kurvita, bhavishyam naiva chintayet. Do not look back upon what has been done. Go ahead. Vartamaneshu kaleshu vartayanti vichakshanaha. Worry not about the past, fear not about future. Work now with full focus. As Longfellow says, trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present. Here within and God overhead. Yesterday is a history. Tomorrow is a mystery. And today is present time. That's why it is called present. It is a gift. Now, 11th verse onwards, up till 30th verse, the 20 verses we talked about Atma Tattva or Atma Nityata. And we have seen Dehi and Deha, Sariri and Sarira, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So the body and the enlivener of the body. The one who lives within this body, this Pura. So this body is called as Kshetra, Ratham, Puram, and Devalaya also. So while knowing the reality of this body, perishable body, it is again very important to take care of this body. We should not sway away and go away from that and ignore our health. Swami Bodhananda says, if you redefine dharma in the present context, it stands on health, environment, creative work, compassionate justice. Dharma, Sanatana Dharma stands on pillars like yajna, tapas, dhanam, jnanam. And here, dehinosmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tadha dehantara praptihi dhiras tatra namuhyati, going through these stages of life, stages of our body undergoing the changes, the 10 ages. This is inspired from Shakespeare's poem of 7 stages. and also I incorporated the Dasavatara into it. You see the beauty of it. Swamini Sharadananda, Sharada Priyananda, Swami Chinmayananda is one of the first disciples. Swami Paratmananda's teacher. So Swamini Sharadananda, I had the opportunity to listen to her and spend time with her. So the concept is inspired. So these 10 stages are within us. These Dasavataras are within us. It is also part of evolution as Darwinian theory. All the world is a big stage. All of us are unique players. We have our exits and entries, each with many roles to play. The acts being 10 ages and 10 stages. At first, as a fetus, like a fish in waters, floating in mother's uterus, swimming in amniotic fluid, Matsyavatara. Then its infant, crawling like a tortoise, Kurmavatara, mewing in mother's arms with love and lovely poise, like a tortoise. Evolving from amphibian, entering into terrible two, going round with bear walk, Varahavatara, as a bear on land and in water. Then, like a lion and a man, then it's wild child, dreadful for every parent, as a human animal blatant, the terrible twos. Then, this is Narasimhavatara. Then the whining schoolboy, every day wanting a new toy. A boy with a heavy school bag drags feet to school with a nag, Vamanavatara. And then comes a teenager, wild with rage and anger, a dashing and daring alien, killing fear like a barbarian, the teenager. As a lover with romance and honor, adored and praised by all forever, as an ideal man and a beloved son, in joy and sorrow, acting as a hero, Ramavatara. Fulfilling duty at work and at home, happy and sorrowful in life's game, as a big brother in need and deed, doing good to the world, Balarama. Emerging with all the experience, conquering anger and arrogance, with knowledge and wisdom, we rule our intellectual kingdom, Krishnavatara. Then comes a stage of nirvana with spectacles, slipping on nose, with silver beard and bald head, leaving all ups and downs behind. I lifted from Shakespeare, turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this eventful circle of life, even though old, happy like a child, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Sans means devoid, devoid of everything, into oblivion, from nothing into everything, and then unto nothing, and again into everything. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. How should we live then? Not worrying about it. When we are faced with so many tides, so many storms, and so many waves coming and going. Coming and going is the key of it. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitosna sukha dukkadaha agama apayino nityaha. If you divide agama apayinaha anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. So it's like even this shall pass. Once in Persia reigned a king, who upon his regal ring etched a caption true and wise, which he held before his eyes. So gave him counsel, fit for every change and chance, solemn words, and these are they, even this shall pass away, even this shall pass away. It is so sad that Krishna Paramatma has given a gift to Yudhishthira, two boxes. He asked Yudhishthira, when you're very happy and powerful. Everything is going your way. Then open this. And the other box, when things are not going your way, when they are otherwise, open this box. So after he got this Rajasuya Yaga accomplished, he was the king of all. So he opened the first box. And then this mantra was there, Matra Sparshasta Kaunte, Agama Payino Anityaha. Then in Aranya Parva, when he was going through troubles and truffles and difficulties, he opened the other box. Again, this mantra, Matra Sparshasta Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha, Agama Payino Nityaha, Tanstitikshwa Bharata. Even this shall pass away. So whenever I read this, I'm reminded of a real joke. So one day, one of my friends' little boy has swallowed a small battery and it is past the stomach. Parents are worried and they sent me an X-ray. And I sent it to my gastroenterology friend, Dr. Jatla, and he sends me a picture of this. Even this shall pass away. So, and it eventually, he passed it. So, and we talked about this great verse. Vasam sijirnani yadha vihaya navani grinnhati naroparani tadha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, similarly the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. This is an ornamental verse about the garments and the ornaments. Underneath the inner sheath lies the Atman. So clothes, one sheath. And we have 5 more sheaths, Panchakoshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. And this soul is Panchakoshantara Sthitayai Namaha. As in Lalita Sahasranama. Underneath the inner sheath lies the Atman. Understand the higher truth of the Brahman. Dissect the sheath, inspect the truth. Explore each layer, expound a rich prayer. This prayer, Vasam Sijirnani. We peel off clothes that are old to wear all new, shining like gold. So does the Atman, leaving the body that's used, takes up the new to be raised. Garments for the body are like beautiful wreaths. It's the Atman that enlivens and infuses the vital breaths. It's the body and mass that's aged and bruised, but it's the Atman that's veiled and revealed. The wise roar that Atman is covered by 5 sheaths, and all of us wear yet another sheath, the beautiful clothes. This verse is so profound, and it is complemented by some more verses. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyate natvam sochitam arasi. For one who has taken his birth, death is certain. And for one who is dead, birth is certain. For most of us, until our vasanas are completely destroyed. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament, O Arjuna. If you think, no, it is not born, najayate mriyate va kadachit, then you don't have to worry. If you think it is born and dead, and then born again, even then it is not worthy of grieving. Death is a brutal truth. Sunset and sunrise and the cycle of life. Life goes on without an end. Behold this truth, my friend. Here in this earthen world, all beings come to an end. For death is a brutal truth and the rest all is mere myth. Neither you nor me, for that matter, not even the master, can deter the death. For must he revolve the cycle of life and death. Birth after death and death after birth is the dawn and dusk of life. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuh dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So says Eastern philosophy. It is inevitable and imminent. His trident of death is very potent. None of us are permanent. The universe itself is transient. The God only is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Lament not, O Arjuna, lament not. Death is dissolving in moment into fivefold element: ether, air, fire, water, and earth, Panchabhutas. We talked about this when we talked about Panchajanyam. Fear not, transcend the idea of death and conquer the fear of death. Worry not, love and worship the God. And give the best in your life. And live with love and laughter and with wisdom. We covered these verses, and we also talked about in the previous part that most of these verses in the second chapter, you'll find the source in Kathopanishad. Like you can see, Najayate mriyate va vipaschit nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit ajo nitya saswatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sarire. Almost similar verse now you find verse 20. Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vanabhuyah ajo nitya saswatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sarire. And these two verses are much more complementary to Atma, which is indestructible. Avinasitu tadviddhi. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyaapaha, na shoshayati marutaha. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Because its nature is achedyohyam adahyohyam akledyo sosyayevacha nitya sarvagatasthanahu achaloyam sanatanaha. It is not breakable. It is not wettable. It is not dryable. As Swami Chinmayananda says, don't look into the grammar, but just understand the essence. It's unchangeable, indestructible. And this is called avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam uchyate. It is so difficult to explain. It is so difficult because it cannot reveal that easily. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam, ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah, ascharyavat chainam anyashanoti, shutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschita. Some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe it as amazing. Some hear it as amazing. Even then, after hearing, after speaking, after reading, after contemplating, you cannot understand it fully. Again, the source, you will find it in Kathopanishad, Ascharyo Vakta, Ascharyo Jnata. If you go home thinking that you got the complete essence of second chapter, you're mistaken. And if I go home thinking that I have given you the essence, entire essence of second chapter, I am deluded. 31 to 38 are the verses which propels Arjuna by reminding Arjuna about his duty, his responsibility, his dharma, his vritti. Swadharmam apicha vekshya navikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Considering your specific duty, O Arjuna, as a kshatriya, the prince, the warrior, who is a warrior now, you are actually a warrior. There is no better engagement for you than the war. Fight the war. Protect dharma. Protect your people. And this is dharma yuddha, dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. And there is nothing better than this, O Arjuna, for a kshatriya like you. There's nothing better than the Grand Slam for a tennis player. There is nothing better than the final exam for a sincere student. Then, in between, before 38th verse, Krishna also enumerates, if you do not fight, you know what others think? Bhayadranaduparatam mansyante twam maharatha. Yesham chatvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. They all think that you have retrieved from the war not out of compassion, not out of wisdom, but out of fear. Sambhavitasya chakittihi maranadati ruchyate. And for someone like you who is so famous, who is now world #1 as a warrior, when people look at you like this, you will put your head in your pocket. It is worse than death, Arjuna, for a warrior and a valorous prince like you. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha. And these guys, the foes who are standing on the other side, and also some friends of yours here, they are waiting for an opportunity to make cartoons of you. And they speak about you in the streets, and they talk about you, and they tell the stories about you to the kids. So, oh Arjuna, there is nothing other than your own duty and responsibility, which is of utmost importance now. Yadevi sarvabhuteshu vrittirupena samsthita namastasyai 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 namo namaha. So there's nothing better than our vritti, pravritti. So the duty and the responsibility. So manasa satatam smaraneyam. Sukha dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Now, when a soldier fights the war for the sake of war, not with any selfish motive, not with any selfish self-satisfaction. In Lawrence of Arabia, actually, the hero says to his friend that I'm feeling bad today. I killed many soldiers, but I'm feeling bad. But why? We are soldiers. Why are you feeling bad? Because he says, I enjoyed killing them. When you kill the soldier on the opposite side, you're killing for the sake of your country. You're killing for the sake of dharma. For you are killing for the sake of good of the world. So, naivam papam avapsyasi. When you do that with that intent, O Arjuna. Then, having talked about deha, dehi, the reality of deha, the body, mind and intellect complex, and the soul knowledge, the soul clarity will give the role clarity. As one of the Chinmaya Swamiji says, the soul clarity, the soul, S-O-U-L, is a soul, S-O-L-E clarity, because it gives us the role clarity. And when we practice even a little bit of this, Neha bhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayata swalpamapi asya dharmasya, even a little bit of it, trayate mahato bhayat, it will protect us from greatest of the fear. And here, abhikramanasha nasti, there is no loss or diminution, and there are no side effects. Pratyavayo api na vidyate. No, not like some rituals when you give them up in between, or when you join some of them in the middle of it. It is nothing like that. It is actually a cycle. Wherever you start Bhagavad Gita, you'll come back to that. So in a circle, you don't know where the beginning or end of the circle is. And there are no side effects. There are no side effects. It's a great verse. Then, again, having talked about the impermanence of the body and the permanence of the Atman, I emphasize again, we should not ignore the importance of our health and body and mind and clarity of the intellect. Because deho devalaya proktaha jivo devas sanatanaha. And in this verse now, verse 45, we go beyond the text, beyond Karma Kanda, the first portion of Vedas. We also have to advance into the second half of the Vedas, which is Jnana Kanda. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvastaha Niryoga Kshema Atmavan Yavan Artha Udapane Sarvatas Samplutodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha. So don't hold on to the Karma Kanda only, O Arjuna. You said so many things which are right and they have their own context. Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha, Doshairetai, Kulagnanam, Varna Sankara Karakai. You gave me so many. They are all important, no doubt. But now, in this context, go beyond that. So beyond the text, beyond the letter, because the letter, if you are attached to the letter killeth. But if we know the spirit giveth, the spirit enlevens. It's like Swami Vivekananda who says, Vigraha Aradhana is like alphabets, but you go beyond Vigraha Aradhana. When you see your own father's picture, it is not just the paper and the black ink or the colorful ink there. It is something more, something more. So it is beyond that Vigraha, there is something more. So that Paramatma you are looking at. So go beyond the alphabets to learn the language. And when for a Brahmana is the one who knows this Brahman, there is no need for the text. Because when you are in the ocean, you just don't look for just a small palmful of water from the beach. So you have the ocean of knowledge here. And like in McInnes Gold, when you know where the gold is, there's no need for the map. When you know your home from your office, you don't need the GPS. So that is how the text and going beyond the text is talked about. And now Karma Yoga is taught. Karma Yoga. So Krishna gives the revolutionary definitions, as I said. The skill in dexterity is yoga. Yoga karmasu kausalam. Yoga karmasu kausalam. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva. Yoga karmasu kausalam. So kushalata, nipunata, or the skill in what you do is actually called yoga. And it is also said in Ganesha Gita, Vaidhesha Kushalata Yoga. Ganesha Gita has so many verses which are similar to Bhagavad Gita. And another definition of yoga comes in a little while. And here is the soul of Karma Yoga, soul verse of Karma Yoga. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhuhu mate sangostva karmani. There are four components to this verse. Many commentators have commented. Each one is complementary. There's no time to discuss all of them. But here, if you look at all we have, all the authority we have, all the power we have is to act. And act we must. And only act is all we can do. Karmani eva adhikaraha te, O Arjuna, ma phaleshu kadachana. Not in the fruits, because the fruits are not just dependent on us. There are many other factors. Not only our sankalpa, not only our doership, the people who help, the instruments which are needed, and the environment and the time of it. So there are so many things which will affect the end result. But when karma is done effectively, timely, rightly, for the right cause, at the right place, for the right people, then the right result will follow. It is na phaleshu kadachana, it is ma phaleshu kadachana, because it is not just dependent on you. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu. So do not hanker on to the selfish fruits or selfish results. Then never, ever be attached to non-doing or not doing your duty. So you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled. And it's actually not very right to say you're not entitled. You're not the sole reason for the fruits of action. We have to know our limitations and never consider yourself to be the sole beneficiary of this activity, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Then next verse talks about samatvam yoga uchyate. Yogasthak kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So this samabhava, having the equipoise, Swami Ranganathananda says, the homeothermic status of our body is a nature's gift, but the homeostasis of our mental faculty is the divine gift, and with human effort, it is possible. So that samabhava, that equipoise, taking the success and failure with the prasada buddhi as his gift to us, that is samabhava. Treating everyone not with equality, but with equity. If you say equality, if you give 1 cube to everyone, the little child is a loser. But if you give the cubes as they're needed, that is equity. So samatvam can be seen as like that. Then samatvam, sama means Brahman, divinity. So seeing that divinity in everyone and everywhere, every time, as one of my friends, Anup Shetty says, that is samabhavam. So samam pashyati sarvatra. So that samatvam. So here, samatvam is equipoise. Equipoise, as Ratanlal Tata has said, treat the life like EKG, and then move on, taking the ups and downs with the equipoise. As Swami Chinmayananda said, duck under the big tides and jump over the small waves. Having said this now, Arjuna somehow contemplates while Krishna is teaching. So Buddhi Yoga is taught here. Karma Yoga is taught here. Nishkama Karma Yoga is taught here. Durena Hyavaram Karma Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya Buddhau Sharanamanvicha Krupana Phalahetavaha. Krishna says, now seek Buddhi Yoga. Act in Buddhi Yoga. Then what is this Buddhi Yoga? This Buddhi Yoga is turning karma into Karma Yoga. Turning karma, action, into selfless action or divine action. How do you do that? Swami Vivekananda says, hands in society and mind in the forest. To explain it a little bit more, hands in the society, we all know that, but mind and the divinity. Well, they can be interdependently practiced by us, most of us. We go to puja room and we sit and then we meditate. And we offer the prayers and do the rituals, perform the rituals. But when we come into action, we cannot bring that yoga mat into the office seat. So this Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga is bringing the yoga mat to the office seat. So bringing that divinity into the world of plurality. And how can it be? And it comes with practice. As we go through the chapters, we'll see. So now Arjuna thinks, oh, is this what Sthita Prajna about? Because Sthita Prajna is not the term which was coined by Krishna before this Sthitadhi. Because Arjuna's question goes like this. Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava Sthitadhi kim prabhaseta kimasita vrajeta kim. What is the language of this Sthita Prajna? Language means, is it Tamil or Telugu or Hindi or Urdu? No. What does he talk? How does he speak? What is his talking power and speaking abilities? And how does he contemplate? How does he move around? How does he act in this world? Sthitadi kim prabhashita, kim asita, kim vrajeta. So somebody asked in one of the sessions in the past that how come Arjuna introduced these words? So maybe Arjuna is no less, as we talked about, Arjuna is a great student. So maybe he's trying to connect that he heard these words, Sthita Prajna, Sthitadhi, and now Krishna is talking about all these lakshanas, which in Karma Yoga we just heard belong to Sthita Prajna. And now Krishna elaborates in next 17 verses. So all these are 18 verses. Vyasa Maharshi puts everything in 18 verses so greatly. And as you know, I cannot go through because of lack of time all the 18 verses. They're gems. They used to be chanted every day in Sabarmati Ashram. I had the opportunity to sit where that exact place was, where Gandhiji and his disciples used to sit and chant these Sthita Prajna shlokas. Please read them again and again. A second chapter is the abstract of entire Bhagavad Gita. The rest of the chapters are commentary on second chapter, which Krishna took up himself. And this Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, 18 verses are packed with so much of clarity, soul clarity, role clarity. And it also talks about the perfected one. It also talks about the practitioner. It also talks about what happens if not practiced. Sthita Prajna becomes Gata Prajna or Hata Prajna. So Prajna is that personality, the divine personality, the stable personality. Sthita means stable. Prajna is that wisdom which is put into practice stably, every time, everywhere, with everyone. Gata Prajna is gone. Hata Prajna is, this Prajna is dead. So we'll see some of these verses. So it talks about the desirelessness of those great saints, the perfected ones. So Siddha and Sadhaka. So we should not get confused, and then we should not worry too much. We are nowhere there, because God himself said, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mato bhayat. It talks about the stability. It talks about not only the physical, but mental and intellectual stability, self-control, tranquility, and the one who is established in fullness. So Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, and Samadhi Yoga, all are taught. And the last couple of verses are Samadhi Yoga, as Swami Chinmayananda says. They start like this. Before this, Yada Samharate Chayam verse, Prajahati Yada Kaman, Sarvan Parthamanogatan, Atmanyevatmana Tustaha, Sthita Prajnasta Dochyate. Giving up all these desires, good, bad, the worldly desires, these perfected siddhas, for the good of the humanity, for the good of the world, anchoring onto the divinity. So they just have put their feet on the higher step of the ladder and given up the lower step of the ladder. Then, Dukkheshvanudvigna manaha, Sukheshu vigata spruhaha, Vita raga bhaya krodhaha, Sthitadhir munirchate. Who is this Sthita Prajna? Who is this Sthitadhir? Dukkheshu anudvigna manaha, the one who is not lamenting, playing that record again and again, replay of the record, worrying about the past, fearing about the future. Sukheshu vigata spruha, not losing himself, indulging in the pleasures. Vita, the devoid, the one who is beyond raga, bhaya, krodha. Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Swami Chinmayananda used to ask us to repeat this again and again. Raga, excessive attachment. What is attachment? I plus I want is attachment. I, me, myself, mine and my own, all this mamakara. Bhaya, fear. Fear of everything, fear of future, fear of death, fear of failure. Then krodha, anger. So that is sthitati. Then how to practice? Yada samharate chayam kurmonganeva sarvashaha indriyani indriyatebhyaha tasya prajna pratisthita. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws his limbs within the shell, is to be understood as truly situated in knowledge. The 5 limbs, 4 legs and tail are 5 indriyas, and the head is our mind. So we have to bring them with the help of our intellect into the shell of our intellect. Then the ladder of fall is described. How instead of becoming sthita prajna, we become gata prajna or hatha prajna. So the attachment leads to desire. Desire, if it is fulfilled, another desire. If it is not fulfilled, it leads to anger. Then in anger, we get deluded. Once we are deluded, we lose our intellect. And once the intellect and discriminative power is lost, the viveka and vichakshana is gone, then nasta happens, sarva nasta. So that is said in these 2 verses. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibramaha smriti bhramshat buddhinasah buddhinasat pranasyati. While contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment with them. From such attachment, the desire, last deep desire develops. And then from that, if it is fulfilled, another desire arises. If not, anger. From anger, delusion. From delusion to bewilderment of memory. With loss of memory, intelligence is lost. Once the intelligence is lost, everything is gone. So with this poem, I conclude. Perfect man or woman. So it has to be always taken he or she. He, whoever he be, he who casts off. She, whoever she be, she who casts off. It's implied. All the cravings and selfish desires thereof, revels in the self or by the self, is a perfect person and true to the self. Atmani eva atmana tushta. Neither elated in utmost joyful situation, nor dejected in the most pitiful condition. He neither praises the joy, nor curses the sorrow. Success or failure, my friend, is a distinct hero. She is a distinct hero. He is calm and composed, ever in equipoise like tortoise, withdrawing senses just like a tortoise. Steers away from sensual worldly pleasures and stares at the divinity beyond all measures. Like dreadful dragons, our senses, our sense organs are forceful and mighty. They drag us into deadly sinful ocean. Indriyani pramadhini haranti prasabham manaha. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. What a great pity. But a yogi controls himself, restraining his mind in piety. He walks in the path of supreme self like a tortoise with great equipoise and equanimity. He knows the cause of sorrow and the trail of downfall, like a rolling stone that falls down from top of hill. He knows one desire leads to another when fulfilled, and the same desire leads to anger when unfulfilled. Well, anger goes out of control, one gets deluded, then memory is diluted, and the mind is polluted, thus losing his power of intellect, and the just, the ignorant and the arrogant forever is lost. A perfect man isn't caught in the clutches of destruction with great fortitude and utmost conviction. Raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischcharan atmavashyair vidheyatma. So that person, utmost conviction. He strives hard and walks towards perfection with no dejection, knowing the sequential destruction. What is a day for most of us is the night for a seer. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. While many of us live in sensual pleasure, is cool and at leisure. A wise man behaves more like an ocean. Perfect person is never swayed from his mission. So, Samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakama kami. Such a one is a perfect man or perfect woman, the divine embodiment of Atman and Brahman, living the practical science and loving philosophical digest. He or she acts here with hands in society and mind on the divinity. Shubham Bhuyat. Thank you so much. Om Tassaditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Vitiyothyaya. So we get that prasada param društva nivartate. So once that divine grace falls on us, so this enlightenment happens, the entanglements and the shackles will be broken. So let us all pray for that power to be bestowed on all of us. Shubham. Om, Om, Om. We'll do Gita Mahatmya.
Indraji, are you able to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Atha Gita Mahatmyam Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yah Patet Prayatah Puman Vishnu Padamavapnoti Bhayashokadivarjitah Gita Dhyayanashilasya Pranayama Parasya Cha Naiva Santi Papani Purvajanma Kritani Cha Malanirmojanam Pumsam Jalasnanam dine dine Sakrit Geetambhasi snanam Samsaramalanashanam Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyai Shastra Vistaraihi Kya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmadvinisrita Bharatamrita Sarvasvam Vishnurvaktradvinisritam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Geetamritam Mahat Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Srimannarayanaayeti Samarpayami Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om
Sureshji,
Sarvam
please.
Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Sureshji, please read this.
Thank you, Dr. Ji, and thank you, Indraji. Enlightened. It starts as a spark, becomes a giant flame, burning brightly, reducing the ego to ashes. Then the illusion vanishes and the truth is visible. Total freedom from the senses, feeling both pain and pleasure, heat and cold, ugly and beauty as the same. Seeing the divine in everything, freedom from attachment, fear, and anger, still they truly are the seers, the enlightened.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we can open it to Q&A session, Dr. G.
Yes. We can stop recording and then open it. Thank you all. Shashi Marulappa. You're muted.